I rise to speak against the whole package of these bills. And at the risk of sounding like my colleague from Canton, I dare remind my dear colleagues that we've all taken an oath of office, and an oath that to uphold the Constitution. Further taking a page out of the aforementioned colleague's book, I think I'll read to you from the state constitution itself. Article 5, Section 1. Executive power. The executive power is vested in the governor. The Constitution goes on to say, specifically Article 5, subsection 2. Subsequent to the initial allocation, the governor may make changes in the organization of the executive branch or in the assignment of functions among its units, which he, this Constitution was drafted last a while ago, or she, considers necessary for efficient administration. Now, since these bills impact history, arts, and libraries, how about a little history lesson? The abilities of the executive office to reorganize departments was robustly debated in the last Constitutional Convention, 1961. The role of the legislature and how much input that legislature should have was as well. And let's put that into perspective. That was before the advent of term limits. My point is that a seasoned legislature who had the benefit of time, relationships, and experience concluded that despite all of those attributes, the framers intended and wisdom still weighed in favor of giving the executive the power to organize government like a business. If you don't believe me, look up Delegate Arthur J. Medeiros, a delegate from Detroit. Look up his comments in the Constitutional Convention. Interestingly, some of the debate even highlighted how important, how critical it was that the executive be nimble in times of economic crisis. Sound familiar? How it's important that they be nimble to tighten the reins on government size when the budget shrinks. There was debate on this specifically. It's almost like they were talking about what we're experiencing today. And Republican delegate James Pollock from Ann Arbor said, "It seems to me, Mr. Chairman, that the problem is one of administrative organization. And here it seems to me that the governor is in a much better position to know what is needed within his or her own administrative structure than anybody else." And again, I reiterate, that was before term limits, when they had a lot more experience. Now, I hope this package of bills doesn't imply that term limits, that the sponsors think that term limits has rendered the legislature a wiser body of lawmakers than there were back in 1961. I have three final thoughts. First, the law is pretty clear. The constitutional authority of the executive is clear. Governor Granholm has this authority. It is legal. And as a conclusion, we must uphold the action, even if we don't personally agree with it. And for the record, I don't. I totally disagree with the governor on this. But I take my oath to uphold the Constitution seriously, and so I'm going to vote no on these bills. Second, pursuant to my oath of office, as well as my duty as an officer of the court, I'm just appalled to see politics cavalierly trumping the law today. And third, I would like my comments printed in the Journal as my no vote explanation on each and every bill in this impressive, unconstitutional bipartisan package. Thank you, Mr. President.